Is that what it was? Okay, for being changed. Okay.
Okay, everybody, it is 4 p.m. If everybody's ready, we're going to go ahead and get started. It is 4 o'clock. Actually, it's 4:01 on Wednesday, September 4th. We're going to call the September Advertising Promotions Commission meeting to order. If you'll call the roll, please, Tanya.
Charlie.
Here.
Josh.
Here.
Jeff.
Here.
Nita. Here. Marina.
Here, and we're going to be missing Faith and Danny. They both let me know that they're unable to attend today. I did send out the corrected minutes, or the minutes out for the August meeting. Thank you, Nita, for correcting me that I sent out the wrong minutes to the commission. And so I know that you read them, and I do know that Councilmember Harmon read them because he said that he read in there that he did not attend. And we know that he was here because he pointed out in the history book that his mother's picture was in there. So he was here. So, so would you note that as a correction, Tanya, that Councilmember Harmon was here at the last meeting? So with that correction that Councilmember Harmon was here at the last meeting, were there any other corrections to be noted? All right, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the August minutes with that correction?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Josh with a second by Charlie. Call the roll, please.
Charlie.
Aye.
Josh.
Aye.
Jeff.
Yes.
Nita. Yes. Marina.
Yes. Okay. Moving on, our next item of business is city happenings. Lauren, I don't see Lauren here. Okay. All right, I'll tell you what, we'll move that on to the next item. Trail of Lights, we'll call up Blake or Sean or both. Which one of y'all want to come up? They're going to point at each other? Okay.
He's on call today.
Sean, it's all you. It's Sean's show. Okay.
What do y'all want to know?
All right. So is Diana not going to come?
No, but I have a message from her.
Okay. Please proceed with the message.
Yes, the new displays orders will end July 31st. That way y'all can vote on them in the August meeting.
Right. So what we've discussed between staff, and I talked with Diana about this, is that we had a display that came in for request after during the August time frame. And that's very late for it to be approved by us. In order for it to get shipped and everything here on time for the guys to get it in line to be put up. And so it was requested by staff that we have a moratorium that there could be no new displays approved after July, or they have to be turned in by July 31st to be approved by the August meeting so that they would be okay to be for the next year, if you know what I'm saying. So if someone requests a new display, they have to make that request by July 31st so that we can approve it by the August meeting. And so we'd like that to make that part of our record, that's a policy that we enact. So I would like someone to, if you have any problems with that, let me know. If not, I'd like to make that motion, please.
I'd like to make the motion that in regard to requests for new displays for the trail lights, that the individuals requesting the lights have their request submitted by July 31st of the current year to at the latest be voted upon at an August meeting for advertising and promotions.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Josh, and there's a second by either Jeff or Charlie. Okay. Call the roll, please.
Charlie.
Aye.
Josh.
Bye.
Jeff.
Yes.
Nita. Yes. Marina.
Yes. Was there, okay. You know what? We do need to go back to Trail of Lights, and we need to go back to city happenings, but I skipped over Debbie, so. Debbie, I'm so sorry. So, could we clear the room to discuss our financials real quickly? And then we need,
Man, really?
hey,
Get up
and,
there and we throw everybody out.
I know,
We have to clear the room.
and Blake, you can go ahead and take this. Okay. There was just that one thing, right?
As far as I know.
Okay, I think that was just one thing.
Yeah, I think it's just one for the electrical.
Ready, Blake, you gotta come up. No.
They don't have his name on here.
It's been delegated out today.
I'll just kind of talk about some, basic stuff. With that. All right, we are ready to resume the meeting. During the financial discussion, we discussed sending out two revocation letters to 2 restaurants that are 3 or more months delinquent.
Move we send those letters out.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to send those 2 letters out. Call the roll, please.
Charlie,
Aye.
Josh,
Aye.
Jeff,
Yes.
Nita. Yes. Marina.
Yes. All right, moving on then, we are going to go to Lorne. Thank you, Debbie. Lorne, we're going to go to city happenings. And you got your sidekick Corey with you. Lorne, this is the Lorne Corey show today, okay?
All right, so I'm just going to give you an update on the dive-in movie night that we did with Moana. We had approximately about 70 people there. The weather started hot, but it got shady pretty quick. It was a good turnout. People were happy, lots of compliments, things like that. We had the ice cream truck there in Las Palmas. They did okay, but
What was the ice cream truck?
it's just the name of it, the ice cream truck.
The ice cream truck, okay.
It looks like a little mini bus.
Okay,
There's no doubt in what they sell.
true.
And then moving on to the September 19th Tragically White concert. The time is 7 to 9. Hopefully the weather will be nice and not hot or raining. I've got 5 food trucks lined up: Donut Envy, Dairy Queen, Lips and Tips, Top Dog, and a Mexican truck that I cannot pronounce.
There you go.
So it's a Mexican truck, is that the name of it, the Mexican truck you can't pronounce?
Correct.
Okay. And those have all been vetted through Debbie, right?
Yes. Yeah, they're all on the list.
Okay,
That it?
that's it. So good luck on that. I think that'll be a great event.
I'm going to expand on city events. October 3rd, we have Sherwood Night to Unite. I will talk about the...
I'm sorry, Lauren, I apologize. What night is that?
October 3rd.
October 3rd.
We're having our Sherwood Night to Unite, and we will be bringing out inflatables. We will have a performer, Christian Davis, country gospel. It is from 5:30 to 8:30, and Saucy Pig will be giving out free wings on that day. I do want to mention about money, A&P balance. I'm just going to touch really quickly on it. We started off with $35,000, about $2,500 of that went towards the Easter egg hunt. That was very successful. Right now, we have used about $12,000 on the concert series, and this is not including this concert series coming up September 19th. After that concert series, I'm estimating we're gonna have roughly about $18,000 left in that A&P budget. I wanna plug that in you guys' ear because we are planning Winterfest, which is the first Saturday in December. And our plan is to make it very big and very successful. We're gonna bring out stage, we're gonna bring out performers. We have a lot of people in our community that are willing to come out and sing and dance for us. It's gonna start after the parade. So the parade is gonna start at 10 a.m. And after that, we're gonna draw everyone to City Hall Park, where we're gonna have Christmas vendors and we're gonna have food trucks and carousel rides, and we're gonna bring out fun activities for the family. So I do not have an amount on that yet, but I just wanted to plug that in you guys' ear because the $18,000 that's left right now, $2,500 of that is gonna go towards Sherwood Night to Unite.
Okay, that's
And
what I was gonna
Yes,
ask.
and
So-
1,000 of that is going to go to New Year's Eve, which I had originally had the breakdown at the beginning of the year.
So,
But
not to interrupt you, but I have a list here from Diana, and she has me down that you have, but she's not giving me an updated balance, because she said some money went back in for sponsorships, so.
Yes, we have been, and for Winterfest, Mayor was able to get us $8,000 in cash from a sponsor in town. So we're going around the different businesses trying to get some more money to put into the community. So what amount do you have from Diana?
I don't have the sponsorship amounts from the concert series back in there, so that's what I don't have.
We received $8,000 from Bank OZK for the stage.
Okay, so what I need to do is get an updated amount from her, because I don't have the same amount you do. but-
Okay.
So can we discuss the money? But I think we're probably good on that money, what you're saying. I think
okay.
we're probably good, what you're saying is probably good, and, so.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention to you guys that from the time I've been working events, none of the money that I use for events is wasted. Like, I try to get discounts. I try to get, hey, we're the city, we're a guaranteed customer, we're gonna be working with you next year. So I do not just automatically call a business for a quote and just pay them the money just because we have it. I call around, try to get the cheapest cost that I can.
Sure.
Do you guys have any questions for me?
So on the Night to Unite, you're looking at about 2,500?
Yes.
And
That's the first responder event.
right. And then you want to use $1,000 for,
New Year's Eve. Last year, we did it at the rec center. Tommy is responsible for that, and it was very successful.
okay. Families, yeah. And then the rest you want for the Winterfest?
That is the plan.
Okay. Okay. We'll get together on this, okay?
Yeah, but I will keep you guys informed
Sure.
as we work on quotes and everything else for Winterfest.
Sure.
All right. Anything else?
So the parade is on the 7th now? instead of
Yes.
On a
It's-
Saturday?
Yes, it's the first Saturday in December.
And
Yes,
it's
sir.
at 10 a.m.?
Yes, it starts at 10 a.m.
It's but what is the date?
December 7th.
7th, it's a Saturday.
Yeah, it's on a Saturday.
Saturday, the 7th at 10.
You want to tell about the group that's come, the secret?
Oh, the car club?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been talking to a car club guy, and our plan is to have a group of vehicles just close out the parade. It's gonna have different, these Mustang that have all of these muscles and all that, for the people that know about cars. And we're gonna have a location at City Hall Park where we're gonna stage like a car show. So we're talking about lighting City Hall Park. Putting things everywhere, draw the crowd, make it big.
Well, plus you have the school parking lot, because it will be open too. I guess you could just have a big old
They're going to need a park there.
park, yeah. Yeah,
And I did want to mention, with us just being on that topic, that we will be working with Sherwood Florists and Chamber of Commerce on Winterfest. So Sherwood Florist is going to set up the gazebo area. We're going to do pictures with Santa in that gazebo area right there. And Billy is so excited about setting it up, so he's gonna do that for us. In addition to that, we're working with Chamber of Commerce for the Christmas tree. So we're going to be decorating the Christmas tree at City Hall Park. The concert, it has been featured in magazines, 501 Life magazine, AY magazine. We're on Arkansas Living magazine and website. So I really think we're going in a good direction for putting Sherwood on the map and just growing from there.
does. It sounds very, very good. And I'm sure Heather will get us on the Vine.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
sure she'll,
yes.
We are booked on the line.
I'm sure she'll get us on the Vine.
Yes, for the next concert and also for Winterfest.
Best, so I have no doubt. So,
And the other one too, Night to Unite, we're booked for that, and police officers will come and speak about it. And there'll be a helicopter here, and they're gonna stage a whole rescue thing.
very good. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back then to Trail of Lights, Sean. You just thought you were gonna escape, right? So, we had a look, well, maybe, no, I really want Blake up here.
I like that idea.
You were not at the little meeting,
Oh, yeah, I wasn't, so.
so sorry, Blake.
That's fine, I'm here.
Okay.
Happy.
Since the chief is not here, we really are not gonna go into this real big tonight, today, but we had a small little gathering and the mayor, and Danny's not here either. So the mayor had a little meeting in her office this week before last, or last week it was. And Danny and I were there, the chief was there, Blake was there and the mayor, just kind of discussion, no voting, no deciding, just discussing different options for Trail of Light. So, just kind of shooting off the hip, different ideas. So, it looks like we may decide, and it's not, everything's not set in stone, nothing has been decided 100%, but we may just leave the gates open and just let cars go through and use a QR code. We're not 100% sure on anything right now, so between now and the next meeting in October, I want you guys to be thinking on all this, okay? When the chief comes and we discuss this to finalize everything, so. Go ahead.
Are we supposed to be thinking about options A, B, and C, or
Just think about, yes, because.
we're supposed to be brainstorming about our opinions of
And
what
I
would be
mean, the mayor,
successful?
you can get up here, Mayor, because you were there too. It was, I want y'all to think about the different, I mean, the thing is that, you know, do we leave the gates open all night and just let it go? That might be the best option, and have cameras up there. Do we, let the trail at the end have QR codes and or have a sign up there if you want to mail a check-in for a donation. This is where you mail the check-in for the older people who don't know how to use a QR code. Obviously, last year, and I don't mean any disrespect to our teenagers, but the groups that we hired, it may be just the groups that we hired, or maybe we didn't train them well enough. I don't know where the disconnect was, but it didn't work out last year. The groups that we had the collections didn't go well last year. And whether
Well,
it was.
most of it was done online, wasn't it, when you booked your time to go through?
Well, you could have, or there were, we did have some groups up there that were supposed to be collecting money, but I do know that several people I knew, they were not asked to donate. You know, no one held out a bucket for them to donate any money, so.
It was at the beginning too, though, wasn't it?
It was at the
So they
beginning.
were asking you to donate before you saw the product.
Before you go,
Yeah.
and that's it, you're asked to donate before you saw the product, so a lot of people don't like that, you know, they were not used to.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people weren't used to, they were always used to, you've been programmed for how many years that you're gonna donate
Yeah.
at the end and get a candy cane, you've been programmed that way.
Do we know some other light shows like ours that stay open all night, that we know that they're experiencing this, or are we experimenting first time to try this?
Well, and just to kind of give you guys, because I actually went out there myself on a Saturday night to kind of experience it, see what it was like, see what was going on firsthand. And I will tell you that people don't carry around cash anymore like they once did. And so I got that a lot. You don't carry cash, don't have cash. Or then it's like a handful of change, or, we can't, or, there were any number of excuses, but more than anything, and then not that and I don't mean that derogatory in terms of saying excuses, but reasons in which they were not, able to, participate in the giving. But most of the time it was just, I don't have cash on me. And, oh, is there a QR code? Yes, there's a place where you can go online. Now, whether people do that or not, you don't really know with it. I will tell you, I don't carry cash with me anymore. But the other thing, Blake had come up, we were kind of brainstorming, and so what the officers are saying that have worked it, and we've got a group that have worked it year after year after year after year. So they feel like they have a pretty good handle on it. And so what they are saying is that it gets backed up at the beginning with people anticipating when they can get in, and it just never, on those busy times, they just could never recover. And that's where the problems generally were. Last year, we really didn't have any. Everybody got through. There were no backup problems and so forth. But then there were complaints and confusion over the reservation system. And that didn't take away from the fact that we are having to have a lot of manpower out there, which we really want to avoid doing that to, our officers, because that really, it's a lot. And so what they are suggesting is that the lights be on a timer, that they either keep the gates open, which generally gates are open all day anyway because you've got staff going in and out of there and so forth. And then they would be on a timer system, and basically they would go on, at 5 o'clock, which is, yeah, from 5, they would shut off at midnight. And then what they're talking about is the police recommendation is to go ahead and have those lights go off, but don't close the gates, but then because every hour they can send through a patrol officer. If the gate's locked, you've got to unlock it, it's a lot more tedious, and he feels like he can set up a system where he will know what officer went through at what time and to make sure that it gets done, but that it would actually be safer that way. Then if it's locked, the lights are off. I mean, we've had vandalism in the past where like all the extension cords and so forth were all stolen, and it was locked up then. So if you really want to get in there and steal stuff, you're going to get in there and steal stuff, but if you never know when an officer's going to go in through there. Also, they can have cameras, as he was explaining, that they, at their patrols that are at night, they have cameras where they pick up the heat, and so you can actually see, like, did someone just run off into the woods?
They have a camera that has a car counting system as well that they put out there.
That we use for the speed cushions, for
Several
example.
We've got cameras. We have cameras at the tennis center right now. So there's a few cameras along our path right now that would.
And that we can aim them towards the trail. So we can cover it that way too. So those are kind of the different things that were suggested. Blake, during this kind of brainstorming, talking the things through, because we were like, okay, what can we do to get donations up? He came up with an idea which we all thought was pretty clever, which was if you donate online, you get to vote on what display will go up next year. So it kind of gives the public a chance to also have it, say what next year's display is going to be. And then, you kind of get that ownership of, oh, I want to go see, did mine win? Or, I really want this one, so I'm going to vote several times, And then that way, we can push that message out and get excitement about, and you only get to vote if you get to donate, and we can have that be any amount, or we can set that for a certain amount to try to get those numbers up. So that was one of the ideas that was, kind of pitched out there as a way to potentially get more donations. But we do know at the end of the day, it's really about people receiving the joy of going through the Trail of Lights more than anything, and we want that to be a great experience for people, so.
All right, I'll ask it again. Do we know of any other Trail of Lights type program where they've just allowed people to drive through without, leave it open, let people drive through willy-nilly without any kind of,
We have not looked into that.
what?
No, there's not that many Trail of Lights. There's not that many Trail of Lights
yeah.
anymore.
Pine Bluff
Batesville-
has one. but I don't, have y'all contacted
No.
Pine Bluff?
We've not contacted any of them to see how they do it. Each kind of city, it's unique in how they do it. Batesville, there's no cost or anything to, go through theirs. But it's more of a whole festival type of a thing. It's not just,
And I think the intent of leaving it open is for, traffic control based on police recommendations as well. To your point, Chief, I'm not gonna speak for him, but he went to a lot of details about why they wanna do it.
Right.
So I think, that was the big crux of that meeting, was going over details as to why they wanna leave it open, and for those reasons, so that's.
Wouldn't they need to put something more permanent than the cones out to create the
The serpentine.
The
Yeah,
serpentine,
well, I think
because-
he mentioned some plans of what they were gonna do on the front side, and then they're.
He
they're
talked
still-
about
yeah.
snow fencing, actually.
Does that talk about what?
Snow fencing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, they've kind of played with some ideas and talked about some ideas, but, it was,
Something that the people can't, when they get irritated, get out
Right.
and just move.
Yeah, he talked about snow fencing. He actually said he wasn't planning on using cones at all, so. And I don't want to speak for him. In fact, the mayor said, maybe we don't even need to talk about this today because he's not here to talk about it. But I did kind of want to bring it up so y'all could kind of be thinking about it, so that next month we'll have a kind of jump on this and y'all can be ready with the
Yeah,
questions.
be thinking
and
about it.
be
That way we
thinking
can
about
limit
it
the time
between now
next
and
month.
then, and because our time is precious here, and I don't
Yeah.
want us to stay past an hour if we don't have to. So next month, I think our biggest two things will be the trail and the budget, so. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, moving to our next item, Blake. Why did you sit down?
Sean's got it. He's got the projects. He's ready.
Okay. Did you put something up here about the tunnel of lights?
Yeah, I
You have
put that
your
up there.
concept drawing, okay.
Yes, I heard we needed that.
You did,
Yeah,
huh?
so there it is.
Am I supposed to share this with anybody?
I gave one to everybody.
Did you put it did you put it in our council member boxes?
Sure, we will.
That might be good.
That'll be easy. So basically what that is, it's gonna go on the bridge on the east side of the pond. Or
Okay.
actually, west side, sorry. 20-foot long bridge, so the tunnel will be 20-foot long, 7-foot tall. It basically make, an arch over the bridge. The light should be about every 6 inches apart. It's a lighted arch. Anyway, pretty basic. Do what?
An arch that creates a.
Yes. So when
So
it's
you'll-
when the arch is on the bridge, it'll make a tunnel.
So you're gonna be basically walking on the bridge through a tunnel
Yeah.
of lights.
Yes. Very simple.
Got it? Okay, already been approved.
said the first time, but.
I didn't get the concept of
Say,
the whole thing,
I
but,
told Blake it's arch.
okay. Okay, City Hall pickleball, that's completely, can be marked off, because we're completely
There
done.
is 3 items on the punch list. They are supposed to be here Monday to complete, and then, yes, it is completely done.
3 items left.
Yes.
Old soccer complex restroom, what's left there? I know I just signed a ticket for something.
Yes, that was electric. It's done. Plumbing is finishing up. Roof's done. We're gonna pour the concrete apron around it, and probably in the next week and a half, it's just called 2 weeks, it should be wrapped up and ready to go.
2 weeks out, okay. And repaving of baseball complex, when is your timeline to start that?
We are looking 3rd week of September. So what was that, Blake, like 17th or something, 16th-ish of this month?
And what is your anticipated timeline?
They said 4 days, but just say a week and a half, just for grins. Because you never know with the weather. and
Yeah, weather.
I'm gonna
so
say
on.
2 weeks completion.
Yeah.
Okay. And the tunnel of lights at City Hall, is that a totally in-house thing?
Yes.
So that'll be done, of course, by the Winter Festival.
Yes, ma'am.
Playground, I think there were some questions up here. I just heard before the meeting, maybe, what's the time? I know that you were doing groundwork. I went over there and talked to you the other day. You were working on the groundwork. I know the equipment is in, correct?
Yes.
So you're just doing groundwork now?
Yes, and I actually talked to them on my way over here. We were hoping they would start next week, but it got bumped a week. They got to finish up some projects. They actually sent a two-man crew to install a swing set for us at Stonehill, but of course, that's going to take more than 2 people. So they got to free up an additional crew, and then they're all headed this way. So it looks like it'll be,
2 weeks.
yeah, not next week, but the next week.
And how long will it take them to install this?
Depending on
playground?
weather, they said 30 days.
So you're thinking it should be done by maybe mid-October?
They had told
maybe?
us the end of October in the beginning.
End
So
of
that's-
October.
That's what we're still hoping for, but again, weather dependent and so on will kind of determine what that is.
Okay.
But I wanted to have a pretty accurate update, so I did call him on my way over here.
Okay, so end of October, we're looking at, that should be ready to go. And
That's what I'm
we're gonna
hoping
have a
for.
ribbon cutting.
It's what we're hoping for.
Okay. All right. Under old business, updated history book. Just to clarify this with everybody, this book is written, it's at the publisher right now. The book is coming back from the publisher to Dr. Remley with just to get some edits on it. And it was coming back this week, and she'll send it back next week, and it will be published and ready to us. We should have it mid to late October. So the book will be published and bound into us and ready to give out in mid to late October. Now, there were some questions on what to do with the book once we had it. And that was the question way back when it was first presented back 3 or 4 years ago, when the book was originally done by the author. And the author of that book was Lisa Kelly of the 3rd book. And so at that time, the questions were, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to do? What are we going to do with this book? And I asked Steve Cobb at that time, and he said, well, let me think, let's see what we're going to do. So I reached out to Cheryl Ferguson, who some of y'all know, and she said when they did the second history book, what they did was they sold it at the city clerk's office. But that would put the burden on our city clerk's office, who's already really, truthfully, they're full of work over there. I mean, they're already up to here doing stuff. So I did ask Amy Sanders at the History Museum. I mean, we weren't really looking to try to recoup our money. We were just doing this as a labor of our A&P love, basically, to do something for the city. And she said they would be willing to just have it at the museum and take up donations, which, if that's what you guys want to do, we could do that. Now, the History Museum is only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday for 4 hours a day. So we could do that, and people could go there and get a book and just do a donation. So we're going to have to think about what we want to do with this book. Now, the reality has set in. The book is going to be here, not by the next meeting, but it'll definitely be here by the November meeting, is what we want to do with this book. Do we want to just do a donation at the History Museum? People can go to the History Museum and get the book and try to, do we want to put it in the city clerk's office and have people come by and buy it? And that will just put more work on the city clerk's office, which I don't want to do that.
Have we considered asking if the Amy Sanders Library would mind having it on their counter? And I like the idea of donation. We could be like any one of our favorite evangelists, and for amount of any minimum donation, you can have my latest book, something like that,
Well, I mean, I don't mind asking the library also if they want to, do a donation also,
Yeah,
but
just,
I-
any minimum donation, you put a quarter in here, put a penny in here, put $1, put $5.
yeah, I don't mind asking them. I mean, we just want to do a donation, anybody, I mean, we could leave it
Right.
in the clerk's office even if they would want to do a donation.
Right,
I just
yeah.
don't want to have someone say, oh, here, you got to write a receipt and here,
No,
all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. I don't want them to have to deal with it.
I agree.
If you're okay with us just getting donations for the book, then
How many books are we getting?
1,000.
And they can be, if next year you want to order another 1,000, the publisher has them, he can reprint you another 1,000 books next year, I presume.
I presume so. So,
Somebody can sell them at Winterfest.
Yep.
Christmas gifts.
they could do that.
What'd you
Someone-
say?
She said someone could sell them at Winterfest.
Winterfest, right.
Lauren said she's got her hand up.
Well, Chamber of Commerce, they're going to be doing the gingerbread and cookie competition in the pickleball court. And she's going to get some vendors, so perhaps I can speak with Ronnie on probably having someone set up a booth area there and. for books.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be maybe a good idea. So there's ideas
Yeah,
out there.
sure.
I guess what my question to the commission is, are you okay with us not selling the books?
I'll make a motion. A motion with regard to the history book that we accept donations in various places to recoup what funds we can
I'll second
for
that.
publishing the book for the city of Sherwood.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion by Josh and a second by Charlie that we recoup whatever we can in the amount of donations for the history book. If you'll call the roll, please, Tanya.
Charlie,
Yes.
Josh,
Aye.
Jeff,
Yes.
Nita. Yes. Marina.
Yes.
How many do we need to set aside for our new mayor's youth council? So they each can have a book and learn the history of Sherwood. How many youth council members do you have? How many? Wow.
All right, we want to do that for sure.
Yeah, we want to make sure they learn the history of Sherwood, and there'll be a test, tell them.
And we want to make sure all of our new council members have one. All of our new council members need to have one, so we want to,
There'll be a test for them, too.
well, that's why this is going back and forth to make sure it's proofed. And they even found mistakes in the first 2 books, so
Oh, imagine.
that's why Linda Rimley's gone through this twice, and they even found, yeah, it's,
I bet there was.
yeah. Yeah. All right, Trail of Light, the only thing under our old projects that we have left, that any money is left on, is the Trail of Lights building.
Very easy. When the track hoe's done over here, we're going down there to dig that power in. And then
Okay.
that'll be marked off.
Then we can mark this off, because all the money's been spent on the other 2 projects.
Yes.
So hopefully the 2023 projects will go off.
Yep, as soon as
Before
I'm done over there.
2024 is over.
It's, yeah.
Okay, good.
Do you want the city to bring, suggestions for next year's projects for next year's budget to next month's meeting? Or do you want
That's what we're getting ready to go on the next thing on the agenda. 2020. You have something too? You have blood too? Okay. Under new business, number A, 2025 budget workshop. Okay. I need for us up here to look on your calendars, and I did try to text Danny for him to call me to see between now and the meeting in October, when we can get together and try to have a budget workshop. And we need to see what we can, decide what we need to do so we can get our budget together. And I think I've talked about it, that I have basically put the budget together. It's kind of like the mayor's does and puts the budget together, and we kind of yay or nay it, but I think we need to look at this over, and we need some input because our budget's getting a little more complicated. So let me get my phone out.
What's Monday, the 16th look like?
Okay,
What's Monday, the 16th look like, the Monday before the council meeting?
okay.
Marina, I'll be glad to circulate an email to the board members or to the commission members here and to see if we can get all our dates figured out via an email.
Okay,
Would
I'll
that
let
need
you-
to be, because it's so many of these A&P commission members, would that need to be announced and the rules behind that, or?
There has.
Because this is a
that's
budget-
It's a Steve Cobb question.
You have to notify the press. You'll have to get Charlotte to do the proper notification.
Okay.
And then, I'm sorry to be repetitive, but it's your workshop, you can discuss, but you can't follow. You can't.
Okay.
No, no, we know that.
And we have to
Okay.
have it here. We have to have it here, Josh, just because it has to be in front of this camera.
It does, okay. Okay.
So we also need to find out, once we can establish, if we can meet, then Mary Jo, Mayor, who is the person who schedules this room? Do we know?
I would say, the easiest thing would be through Maitland. And I'll make sure, there's generally nothing going on up here. So if you tell me when you need it, I'll make sure that the chief knows so that the police know and that we know.
Okay, so then we have to make sure this room's free. And then we have to do at least a 2-hour notification of the press, but we probably need to do better than that, because it looks like we're sneaking something in.
No, you need to do, as soon as you have a date, get your notice out.
Yeah. So if, Danny, I guess, is out of town, or he just texted me, he was driving, so I had texted him earlier to call me, but, all right. So if you don't mind emailing everybody back, Josh, and
Yeah.
kind of circulate an email between us, and we'll,
See if we can't nail down a date, and then, Marina, you and I will work together on speaking to whoever we need to book the room.
okay, thank you, I would appreciate that, because I'm kind of busy these days.
Really? With what?
Yeah, really.
Got an election going?
Yeah. Okay, we have one last thing on the agenda, and this is, Josh is gonna give us mid-year report, and Josh, since this is about A&P, if you'll just keep it to A&P business, and that should keep it pretty short, and,
Oh, that was a hint.
Absolutely.
and since it's getting close to the
It
5
will be
o'clock hour.
short.
5 o'clock hour,
Yeah, so as you guys know, I've been on this job for about 2.5 years. And when I was hired, it was made clear to me that two things are impacting the growth of Sherwood. Number one, the wet-dry issue, impacting the north half of the city, and the lack of a grocery store in the north half of the city, which is being impacted by the wet-dry issue. So the grocery store creates retail synergy in the north for other restaurants and retailers, which is what you guys are most concerned with. But just so you know, I mean, that's not all that I do, is not just restaurant and retail recruitment. I also work on other issues as well. But that being said, so far in 2024, so you guys know what it is that I've been doing, most importantly, the wet-dry issue. We got it on the ballot. I worked almost every weekend and evening volunteering to collect signatures after work every day and on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, to get the signatures we needed with the rest of the team. And it is on the ballot. Got that confirmed. The county did us no favors with the language, but that's neither here nor there, and the committee will be meeting in the coming days to talk about how we can possibly market, or they can market, because the city cannot be involved in helping pay for any of that. So they're getting together to work with a marketing firm to try to figure out the best way to get that message so it doesn't look like it's for the sale of intoxicating beverages. Right now, the language makes it sound like we're setting up stills out in North Sherwood, and it's really not about that. It's about economic growth and having the same rules in the north half of the city as they are in the south, which will help get the grocery store, which will help get the restaurants and retail. So those are the biggest things that I've done A&P related for this year. I'm still hitting the same brick walls that I've hit every year. What existing construction do you have for us to go in? We don't have any. What's your retail anchor in the north half of the city? We don't have one. So until those issues are resolved, it's going to continue to be an uphill slog trying to get someone to locate a restaurant, specifically chain restaurants, A&P generators in the north half of the city. But like I said, that's only a small portion of what it is that I do. I've also been working on the Senior Assisted Living Center, which is going to bring more residents. The great thing about the Senior Assisted Living Center is they buy local. They buy all of their daily meals from local restaurants. So that was one of the key things for them. I did get Zaxby's reopened. That was a fight to get that pushed through between the legal issues that they were having and corporate deciding if they wanted to keep that location or not, but it is back open. I've worked on a couple of other business expansions in Sherwood, specifically Arkansas Mailing Services. I'm working with them. That's going to create some more jobs. But most importantly with them is they were looking at one of the largest buildings that we have available in Sherwood to purchase, and then they were going to turn the other half over for a family entertainment center at basically just recouping their cost for rent. And so that's still in the works, working on that, and hopefully I can get a Sky Zone or a trampoline park, some type of family fun center in that other 35,000 square feet. So working with that, but all of that is also as part of their business expansion and growth that I was working with them on the other side. Working 2, possibly 3 grocery store deals, 1 in central Sherwood and 2 potentially out in the north. We're under NDAs on all of those. I can't tell you the locations. I can't tell you the companies. Just know that they're working and they are moving forward. The one in the north hinges upon the success of the Wet Dry Initiative passing in November. And that's as far as I can go on that. I'm also working with some technology-based companies that are going to end up hopefully being major employers here, locating their manufacturing and distribution here in Sherwood because we can house that. Those people eat, they spend money in restaurants. So I'm trying to get that. Unfortunately, we lost Arkside Coffee. You guys are aware of that. We lost them. That was a landlord-tenant issue, not anything that the city did. There's nothing that we can do to make those two work together and get along. Have to just kind of step back and let it sort itself out. Am working with Mark from Darkside at potentially looking at other locations in Sherwood, but he's apparently having some other issues at this time as well. And we'll hash that out, and hopefully we can come to some place for him to continue to remain in Sherwood. He is a Sherwood resident, and so I want to support him in any way that I can. And I'll take any questions. Told you it'd be brief.
It was. Do y'all have any questions from Josh?
What about Seven Brew? That fall through?
Nope, Seven Brew hasn't fallen through yet. Seven Brew, as you guys know, they did a massive push onto into our area. Then they put 2 on 107 that basically are in line, so they're catching all the commuter traffic that way. Their next look in our city is on the Brockington corridor, and we all know, and they know, what is happening on the Brockington corridor with the expansion, because they also have contacts in RDOT, and they watch our city council meetings, and they know that the city council approved an expansion project on the widening of Brockington, and that has put them, they're not going to open up a location when they know that they're going to be impacted in their first 18 months of operation negatively by a road expansion project. So we're on hold with them, but they are still looking, highly interested in Sherwood. So I'm not overly concerned with Seven Brew. They'll get here. I'm not worried about them. Anyone else?
We have a guest in the audience, and sir, could you state your name out loud for the record?
Mike Masuko, I have a friendly question.
Sure.
It's about the wet dry issue.
Sure.
Who writes the language that's going on that ballot that's already been approved? Is it the court?
So the language of the ballot, it has to follow the state law for defunct township local option elections. So speaking with the county attorney, Adam Fogelman, his hands are tied in that language having to go in that manner. We asked, and the answer was, this is the way it has to be in accordance with state law.
Oh, okay, so it's nothing to do with the court?
No, it is state law.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anything else? All right?
Thank you very much, Josh, for your
Thank you, Josh.
update.
Good job, Josh.
Good job.
Okay, anyone having announcements or anything? All right, we're gonna wait for Josh, is gonna send an email out to poll everybody. And then we will get back with everybody on a date between now and our next meeting to have a budget workshop. And we'll get with the mayor's assistant on the availability of the room. And hopefully everybody can make it to that meeting, just so you can participate in the development of the budget. And if you can't make it, I'm sorry, but, anyway. All right, could I take a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All right,
Second.
we're adjourned.